please.
Superintendent, I'm a little interested right now, given where North High is at in terms of No Child Left Behind and the turnaround requirements that we're facing with it. One of the things that I think that people need to be very clear on is the decision to phase out ninth grade and to put us in a different position by restarting us will give us more time in terms of NCLB and working with that. So Superintendent, I'm just curious where we're at with North.
Well, when I talked earlier about Cedarview, I think one of the clarifications, just because I have to say that, with the NCLB turnaround is they identified 34 persistently low-performing schools, and North would have been 7 in Minneapolis, and North would have been the 8 that they had identified more. I should say I don't have the exact status of where they are along the continuum, but part of doing this phase-in would help with their NCLB status. It would fit as a restructure for the high school. Quite frankly, I think that whatever we do, we have to do something different for the school as it relates to NCLB.
Superintendent, if we were to keep ninth graders coming in next year, what would that impact our NCLB status? Would there be anything different?
It would not impact the current status.
So could staff figure out exactly where we're at with that NCLB thing, like right now for this discussion, so that we can have some sense about what time is going to be? Because federally, what's going to be...
That's what I need to get rid of. Y'all need to be voting to get rid of the No Child Left Behind.
I'm going to ask, I don't know if Sarah Snap is here, whether she can go down to our offices and pull that data on all of the high priority schools.
Thanks, Mark.
I support this amendment, mostly because I believe the superintendent, when she offers the opportunity for the redesign. I think here's an opportunity for the community, our community partners, the stakeholders, to work together to help determine the kind of school, the kind of academic program that can be a viable program in Minneapolis. I just want to make a couple of statements because people who have been speaking, and I know that everyone who's spoken has been sincere, but have made some claims, about the behavior of board members that cannot be substantiated. For example, I have made numerous visits to North High. I have taught. I have spoken to, last spring I spoke to 5 business classes at North High. And not only that, although none of my children attended North High because they were not at the time, even though where I live now, at 13th and Washburn, I attended North High, attended some. It was in the Henry attended some. So that some decisions were made many years ago that put North in a rather precarious situation, because if you live in the Homewood, Willard Homewood area neighborhood, you went north to Henry, and that was for many years a more stable community in North Minneapolis, so that you went to Henry or you found ways to go elsewhere. My children were in the open program, so they went to Marsden U and headed to South. The other thing, that a connection that I have with North High School, that when John B. Davis, and I'm dating myself, when John B. Davis was superintendent, I put a challenge to the superintendent and to others, teachers in particular, where I said, I think the most important thing about teaching is the ability of the teacher to form solid relationships with the students. That the quality of the teaching is in the quality of the relationship between the students and the teachers. And I said to them that without having a degree from a college of education and having been trained as a teacher, I would be willing to take on a class and to demonstrate the quality of their relationship. So I took on, for the last 6 weeks of school, I taught basic English at North High School in the old building. Some of you around here can remember that. So, and we had a great time. One of the things that it did for me, it increased my my understanding and you know, my support for and appreciation for how challenging teaching is. And I had that class for 5 days a week at 8 o'clock in the morning. And each day that I showed up at that class, I had to be prepared to do something with those 15 students. So I really had to depend upon my ability to enter into good and solid relationships with those students in order to get through the day. We got through, not only through the day, we got through 6 weeks. And I had an opportunity. None of these were the students that the school essentially had given up on, because they were the ones who stayed in school. They were not seen as college bound. That's what the basic part of this connoted. And so, but they were graduated, they were headed to marriage and to the military. And one young man, I saw him about the following summer. He was working, I ran into him at Dayton, and he was working as a management trainee. And because of the experiences that we had in a couple of field trips that I arranged for them, gave him the belief that he could go beyond high school. So he was involved in a management training program. Now, the final thing that I want to say about it is that I've been a Northside resident for 45 years. That was the year that I moved, that my family and I moved to Minneapolis. I've never lived anywhere else. I've lived in my same house for 43 years. So I know North Minneapolis. I know the politics of North Minneapolis. I know the challenges of North Minneapolis, and I'm firmly committed to North Minneapolis. My home is there. I have no intentions of moving. So it's important for me and my family to have a sound school in that community. So that the other thing, although I was not re-elected to the board, and this may be they say old soldiers never die, they just fade away. Well, this old soldier is not planning to die, nor am I planning to fade away.
All right.
So expect that I will continue to be engaged in this process, and I can be engaged with a great deal more flexibility and freedom than it is for that reason that I believe that this redesign effort can work, because I plan to help make it work.
All right.